Hi, welcome back to West Coast Geeks. I'm your host, Joaquin. How we doing, people? So, today's video is going to be a short video covering the topic of do you just buy have you ever just bought D&D books to read? In my case, it's modules, and I've always done this. If I see something where I'm curious, I'll flip through it, and then I'll end up picking it up. And in this case, it's a bunch of 5e books that I've collected over the years. Excuse me. And I've never had a chance to DM. Most of my group, we play in Greyhawk. And so while I'm thinking about the next campaign would be in the Forgotten Realms, I don't know which adventure I want to choose yet. So the I guess the problem I have with these adventures here is that they're pretty much just you make your characters and then you run through and you deal whatever it is, like the Tyranny of Dragons, or then we have the Witchlight Beyond, and the player characters, in a sense, are committed, or you want to say railroaded, to this adventure. Where what I loved about modules were they were just modular in the sense of you went on this one mini adventure was meant for levels whatever 1 to 3, 4 to 6, 6 to 9 or 7 to 9, and go up a little bit farther and so on, 9 to 12, and but you got to pick your destinations, right? So you could start off in the Caves of Chaos, and then after that end up in Greyhawk, and then go to White Plume Mountain, and then from White Plume Mountain, you could end up in the Tomb of Horrors, you know, or you could start off in the village of Hamlet and just run through the Temple of Elemental Evil and then go against the giants and then finish off that mega campaign. But the cool thing about those is that at any point you could jump in. Like, say your characters were already mid level, well, you wouldn't have to go through the Temple of Evil. You could just go against the giants. And after you had taken on the giants, maybe you wanted to go visit the Expedition of the Barrier Peaks. So let's just do a short God, I'm sorry, I'm just a little tired right now. I was like, I haven't made a video in a while, and I enjoy making videos. I just haven't been able to hook up with my boy Eric so we can get back on schedule on some of the other videos that I want to make. But, so, Tyranny of Dragons. Leave a comment below on any of these adventures if you played them, or if you DM'd them, or you just bought the book like I have to read. So I'm just going to read what the back. The Return of Tiamat. The forces of Tiamat, Queen of Evil Dragons, brings wars to the Forgotten Realm, led by the sinister cult of Dragon. An army of dragons, the foul villains, wage a merciless campaign to unleash their draconic god upon the world. Now I'm not going to read it all, so you get the gist of it. All right, Tiamat's has some worshippers. They want to bring her back and unleash her hell. All right. I thought it was a fun read. There's some parts of the adventure where I could see myself going through and tweaking, which you should on all these adventures. So the Tomb of Annihilation, but the Wild Beyond the Witchlight. I want to say, let me read the description. Something wicked this way comes. Once every 8 years, the fantastic Witchlight Carnival touches down on your world, bringing joy to the settlements after the next. Its owners Mr. Witch and Mr. Light. Mr. Witch and Mr. Light. I don't know about that. Know how to put on a good show, but there's more to this magical extravaganza than meets the eye. And I think this is level 1 through 8, so that's not that bad. But I think the reason why I had picked this up. There it is. Yeah. I never did like the League of Malevolence. I know I mispronounced that wrong, but you got Kellic. And I've used these old school D&D figures. They never got to around making a figure of her, but they made a small one of Skyla, or Skyla, and Warduke, my favorite, and Thark, the half-orc assassin, or the orc assassin who could sometimes disguise himself. Thargosh, they never made a figure for him. Elkhorn, I thought that was pretty cool, you know. The dwarf character, I had that model at one time. The figure, Mercion. They never made this character. I don't know why they included her. Ringlerin. And, of course, Strongheart. That's the only reason why I bought this book, because I just wanted to look at the stats and have it. And I kind of glanced through the adventure. There wasn't really anything that was like, oh, I might use this. There's a couple of ideas, but, you know. And I know I could have just got a PDF of that. We got the Candlekeep Mysteries. I bought this adventure for Eric, and then he couldn't play D&D anymore. And we were in the middle of a campaign, and this was going to be the next adventure. Because it was my version of Keep on the Borderlands, but I called it the Lost Catacombs. And that's because my friend Greg had already been through it. So I asked him, I go, Eric has never been through Keep on the Borderlands, so I'd like to give him that experience. So I'm just going to change a lot of things up. And so he agreed, which was cool. But Tomb of Annihilation, Welcome to the Jungle. So this is the 5e version of the Tomb of Horrors, which is like the most deadliest, one of the most deadliest. I think they made another one too, but it just didn't have the right flavor. Excuse me. A death curse has fallen. Oh, I'm sorry. A death curse has befallen everyone who's been raised from the dead. Its victims are rotting away, and all its efforts to reverse the decay have failed. Excuse me. My throat struck for some reason. Should pause the video, but if you watch his channel, you know I'm not that guy. Not yet. So, he wanted me to get this. I bought it, and it looks pretty cool. I like what they did. It's not as deadly, but I would have tweaked the things or made DC checks difficult. So we got Out of the Abyss and the Candlekeep Mysteries. This book really intrigued me. So it's an anthology of 17 mystery-themed adventures for the world's greatest role-playing game. And great books hide their secrets well. Candlekeep attracts scholars like flames attract moths. Historians stage and others who crave their knowledge flock to the library fortress to pursue its vast collection of books, subscribed in which are answers to the mysteries that bedevil them. Many of these books contain their own mysteries, each one a doorway to adventure. Do you dare cross that threshold? So as I was skimming through these, I was like, I could just use some of these in just a regular stage, an old stage tower that maybe is abandoned and is guarded by a ghost or something. There's a lot of things you can do with this. So I really did enjoy this read. Out of the adventures so far, I've enjoyed all those reads except for the Wild Beyond the Witchlight. Just, I don't know, I just wasn't feeling that. Okay. Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus. I was like, whoa, that is cool. Out of the Abyss. The Underdark is a subterranean wonderland, a vast and twisted labyrinth where fear reigns in its home of horrific monsters that have never seen the light of day. Now, this reminded me of A4, where the players end up being captured, but in this case, they start off being captured. And this adventure is from like level 1 through 15, and you're exploring the Underdark, and eventually you meet up with like Demogorgon and a couple of other demons. So, again, it's, that's a straight campaign, but you can kind of break up some smaller parts and venture off and do your own thing if you don't want to take it to that point, which you can do in all these adventures. It's just that you're going to have to do a lot of prep work to determine what direction your player characters want to go. Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus. Oh, I love the cover on that. I like the premise of the Archangel being turned. Welcome to Baldur's Gate, a city of ambition, corruption, and murder. You just started your adventure and career, but already find yourself embroiled in a plot that spawns from the shadows of Baldur's Gate to the front line of the Blood War, which I thought was cool because they've done some adventures before where you have, gone into hell or the abyss, and a lot of them involve Planescape, and I want to say H4. I can't remember the title of that adventure, but that one you fought Orcus on his home ground, and you could actually play level 100 characters, which I thought was crazy. And I let my players do, and only 2 out of the 4 survived because they told you not to give them any breaks, and they upped the difficulties and stuff. One of the adventures I really loved reading was Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frost Maiden. And I don't want this to outshadow Waterdeep Dragon Heist because while I enjoyed reading this too, I really did enjoy Icewind Dale more. But Dragon Heist. Famed explorer Volo Hampton Gerderam Genderarm needs you to complete a simple quest, like learning how to say his name correctly. Thus begins a mad romp through the wards of Waterdeep as you uncover a villainous plot involving some of the city's most influential figures. If you enjoy Waterdeep like I enjoy Greyhawk, then this is definitely an adventure for you, where there's just so many ideas you can run with this. The character levels is 1 through 5. It's got an interesting plot. And one day I would like to run this adventure. Now, this adventure I have played, found Delver, and then now it's and Below the Shattered Obelisk, and I wanted to get that just to see what they did, and I thought they did a good job. But first, let's give Icewind Dale its due. Rime of the Frost Maiden. First of all, I love the art on this. Just the name is cool. In Icewind Dale, an adventure, the dish best served cold. Beneath the undying night sky, you stand before a towering glacier and recite an ancient rhyme, causing a crack to form in the great wall of ice beyond the yawning fissures. The Cave of Hunger awaits. Love that name. That's a cool name. And past this icy dungeon is a secret so old and terrifying that few dare speak it. The mad wizards of the Arcane Brotherhood long to possess that which the god Winter's wrath has so coldly preserved, as do you. I should have said, as do you, with the exclamation point. What fantastic secrets and treasures are entombed in the subtlest heart of the glacier. And what will they discover mean for the denizens of Icewind Dale? Can you save 10 towns from the Frost Maiden's everlasting night? Um, if you love Game of Thrones like I do, and you always kind of want to do adventures like of the North, this is right up your alley right here. And they go into conditions, and the adventures are pretty cool. So this is one I definitely would like to take a crack at, and one for my group. It's Adventures level 1 through 11. Alright, and last is Prince of the Apocalypse. Now, there are other adventures, I just haven't picked them up, or I'm just not too crazy about picking them up at the moment. But I do enjoy reading these books, except for that one. But other than that, these are nice pickups. Leave a comment below. Have you played any of these adventures? What did you like? What didn't you like? As a DM, what inspiration have you used from these just for your own campaigns? What lurks below in Phandalin? So this is the follow-up, which I thought they did a great job with this. The next time I ever run Phandalin, I'm going to give the group a chance to start there and then move its way through. And then after the Wave Echo Caves or something like that, I can't remember the name offhand, I'm going to give it an option to continue if they want to and then take it from there. But a beloved town in unimaginable danger, where the heroes are newcomers to Phandalin or are returning after their acclaimed Dungeons and Dragons adventure Lost Mines of Phandelver. Phandelver. I always mispronounce that word. They discover hints of a threat lurking below the town. The heroes soon learn that the cult of the maleficent entity has set its sight on transforming Phandelverlins into the capital of its evil empire. To save the town from the oblivion, the heroes must uncover a nefarious plot and confront the otherworldly cultists. All right. Nice little way to spend the summer. All right, Prince of the Apocalypse. I have run recently the Goodman Games, the Temple of Evil. Well, actually, I haven't read that version. I ran the old version before, the original Temple of Evil. But I bought this because I really enjoyed the characters. So it's the primordial evil threats the realm. The first signs are always small: bandits on the road, pirates on the Desirian River, monsters sighting throughout the somber hills, all too close to the lands of civilized folks. So this is 5e's Temple of Evil. And what I really did like about this is, besides this cool art here, you got to actually, have a chance to fight the princes of elemental evil, which I thought were cool. I think the temple should have had those in the node. I think it was lacking that. In fact, I included it in my version of it, and the players really enjoyed that. But there was also, okay, these are characters you can play, the spells. Did I miss it? Sorry, it's been a long time since I looked through this book. Yep. I had overshot it. Yeah, this is it. So, when they were in the temple, I'm going to start right here as I wrap this video up. As they first ventured into the temple, they were just fighting bandit guards and, your bugbears. And Greg's like, is there anything else? Because this is getting kind of a little boring. And I don't blame them, because they had just played the Caves of Chaos, so they fought all these creatures. So I introduced their the faction specialists, you know, like the Howling Hated Initiative, and the Priest, and the Skyweaver, and I replaced all of the leaders of the Temple factions with their leaders here. They actually got to face this one right here, the Black Earth Guard, the Priest. Now, we didn't do the Stone Melders because there really wasn't any space. Same thing with the Burrow Sharks. But the Sacred Stone Monks they faced. But I always thought the Marlos Urnrail was a cool character, a male Medusa who has a mask. And so, of course, he gives his evil speech, and then he goes and he rips off his mask. And one of the players is like, well, I would have attacked him, but you were doing your little evil speech. I go, you know what? You're right. So roll initiative, and I actually rolled high and caught most of the group, and were able to turn the stone out of the party of like 7 at the time, 3 of them. So that was a nice little combat that happened. And this was a cool character. We got the Elemental Fires, the Eternal Flame Cultists. You know, they got to face her, and they almost died to her. And then I got some bad feedback for being a bad DM. So, Vanifer, she is a tiefling who's the leader of the fire cult, and I gave her a pack of 4 hellhounds. And you're like, what's wrong with that, Joaquin? I go, well, I made them like, you know, big hellhounds. So I beefed them up, gave them more hit points, AC. They did more damage, not that much extra damage, but I gave them 2 heads each. And at first the party goes, well, that's pretty cool, 2-headed hellhounds. I was like, yes. And, you know, a few of the hellhounds took some damage. I go, now it's the hellhounds' turn. And they all breathed fire on them. They didn't like that session. So I didn't realize how much damage, you know, let alone 2-headed hellhounds could do. But if you've got 3, because I think they killed 1, and you got 3, and the third one was about to die, but doing that much flame attack, yeah, everybody's got their resistance and all that, but it just stacked and stacked. And then I ended it with Veneer throwing a fireball. So I didn't TPK the party, but I really gave them a run for their money. Yeah, they didn't like my 2-headed hellhounds. I wish Eric was here for that, because he would have loved that. The Crushing Wave Cultists. I thought that was a cool name. Again, I don't really, you know, I used the Wave Priests, the Reavers, the Darktide Knights up to a point. Faramir, the One-Eye Shiver, and they never got a chance to meet Sholar, Quandurer. No, I'm mispronouncing all these guys. But I bought the book just for that, and also just to read it. And I thought it was okay, you know. I agree with some of the criticism on that, but you know, if you want to add some really spice to Temple of Evil, there's that. I wanted this to be a short video. Usually I try to keep my videos to 10 to 15 minutes on some of my D&D topics. Others will go longer, up to an hour or so, but man, it's a lot of books. So if you made it this far, leave a comment below. What did you enjoy about any of these adventures? I would really love to hear from you guys. And I'll catch you guys later. Take care.